Hello. How's everybody doing? All right. So my name is Everyday. This is Holocaust Perspectives, and we're using our perspective to help the average individual get across the line from poverty and mediocrity into wealth and prosperity. This is an episode of Yo, I'm just talking. I'm gonna hit you with some stuff today, and it's about to get really interesting. So let's talk about superstitions. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I want you guys to really gain a full understanding of some of the things that we do. A lot of the stuff that we believe in and we carry forward and we do on a daily basis has been embedded in us since we were children. Okay, so a lot of your beliefs, your thoughts, and the way you live and see the world was brought into you from your family and your environment since you were a child. Okay. So let's do this. Think about this one. Everybody probably does this, but you don't really know the reason behind it. How many of you knock on wood? Think about that. You say something, you're like, oh my God, let me knock on wood. Do you even understand the history and the knowledge behind it? I was always taught you cannot be religious and superstitious at the same time. Think about this. The whole premise behind knocking on wood is so that whatever you're speaking doesn't come true. But the thing about it is, the true meaning behind it is because there was a native tribe that believed there was a spirit or a deity that lived in the woods, okay, in the tree. So you're speaking something you don't want to come true, you knock on wood so that deity doesn't allow that to come true because it doesn't hear what you're saying. The knocking on the wood takes away the sound so they don't hear what you're saying. But the problem is a majority of people, and somebody probably even did this yesterday, they're sitting in church and they're speaking to somebody and they're like, oh my God. So they run over to a wooden pew and they're knocking on it as they're saying what they're saying. But you're in your Lord's house. Think about it. You're in your Lord's house and you're turning around saying, I know you're here and I'm praising you, but I got to turn around and make sure this other deity doesn't pick up the power and do whatever or make this stuff come true. As your Lord is sitting there looking at you like, what the HE double hockey sticks are you doing? Why are you ignoring me? I'm just here to make you think. Yo, I'm just talking. Let's talk about this whole 7 years bad luck of breaking a mirror. There's history behind that. When it comes down to it, the people who made mirrors, because it was so intensive and the cost behind it, because they even use like mercury and silver, in order to get that image so that you can get the reflection. So it's very expensive. And then at the time, even cutting the glass, was very hard to do. So the individuals that were making the mirrors said, how can we get it to a point where people, one, will treasure the work that we've done, and two, keep it so that they don't break them so quickly. So now what they did was they started, you break this mirror, you're going to have 7 years bad luck. Now we running around believing that this stuff is true. But see, what you don't realize is if you broke that mirror, now all of a sudden mentally you're turning around saying, oh my God, I'm going to have bad luck. Manifestation. So now you're sitting here thinking that bad luck's going to come your way. You pull any and everything that you focus on becomes your reality. So now you're running around here thinking you're going to have bad luck. So something happens to you and you be like, well, I did break that mirror. Yeah, I got 7 years of this. And you're living here in a level of fear. It is time to wake up, people. It is time to wake up. How many of you believe Friday the 13th is really a unlucky day? Question is, unlucky for who? I'm just saying, hey, yo, I'm just talking. But it's up to us to really gain a full understanding of what we're doing. I'm here to wake you up, get you in the right mind frame to understand you control your reality. Think about it. The number 13 is considered unlucky. There's buildings that only have a 13th floor. There's hotels that don't have a 13th floor. You have apartment buildings. Sometimes they don't even have a 13th floor. It's because people have gotten to a point where they believe that that number is so unlucky and that it has a level of mysticism or whatever the case to be. Do you realize that the numbers 369 carry more mysticism than the number 13? I'm not going to go into 369 right now because I'm still learning that, but the number 13 and Friday the 13th came into play because I don't know if you guys know anything about the Knights of the Templar. Okay. A little bit of history about them. They became very prominent in the, I would say, roughly 1300 century, right in that time frame. And what they were doing was offering security for people that were caravanning across long distances. You got to remember, at one point in time, money was physical gold and silver. So people walk around with bags and it would ching and make all this kind of noise and the weight. So if you were moving from one area to another and you had to traverse an area, people were getting robbed. Okay, different things like that. So the Knights of the Templar said, we will offer security. But then they also created a level of banking. So as opposed to you carrying your money with you, you would turn it in to them, whatever their fee was, and then they would write out exactly what you're supposed to get in gold and silver, precious metals on the other end. So you would turn it in on this side, you get the piece of paper, go through your trek with them. They offer you security, make sure you don't get hurt, harmed, robbed, killed, whatever. And when you get to your destination, you would turn that piece of paper in and you would collect your money. So they became very, very powerful. And a French Pope ordered the execution of all of them on Friday the 13th. So that's considered an unlucky day. And it has traversed and changed, and people run from the number, and people assume that major things are going to happen on this day. It is up to you to wake up, understand. And when you hear something, as opposed to taking it as status quo, do the research and say, what does it mean to me and for me?